Hey everybody, this is Perch. I want to make this video positive. Okay, there's going to be an undercurrent to this video that's definitely negative because I'm talking about a behavior that I find stupid. It doesn't help anything. And it's, in fact, if anything, I think it actually does the exact opposite of what people hope. But rather than go into the negative behavior, let me go into the way it would be easier or better because I'm going to take this wild glass half full. I just want to state for the record, I don't really believe, a good portion of what I'm about to say. But I'm going to assume that a lot of this is just kind of ignorance about how properly to promote things, how properly to generate hype and get people excited for your project. I am sympathetic by the strange position that a lot of comic creators are in. And I by the way, I had this very aggressive, weirdly aggressive argument where there's just the customers just have latched on to this, the creator must promote. That sounds great, and I think it is a good idea, and they should do that. But I am also sympathetic to a couple facts, and these are facts that make the whole thing uncomfortable. It makes the easy story about the creators a bunch of dumbasses who do not know how to do their business. It kind of gets in the way of this story. And if you really love that story, then by all means click away now because I don't want to disrupt you from a good time, so you can continue to have your good time. But creators are often put in this very weird position where they're told, we don't have marketing budget for the book, so do it yourself. But P.S., do it the right way. And if you do anything that we don't like, even though we're not going to tell you what to do, and we're not going to give you any help or support, and we realize that you did not go to school for marketing, and maybe you have no idea what good marketing is. But if you do something the wrong way, you talk to the wrong people, or we just wake up one morning and you causes some kind of embarrassment that was unforeseen, or somebody causes your tweet to trend for bad reasons and it looks bad on us, then we're going to be upset, and we're probably going to not hire you for additional work and everything. But you do all the marketing. We want you to do all the marketing. No, we're not going to pay you more. No, we're not going to give you any assistance or help, and we're going to give you very vague responses. I'll put it this way. I've had creators send me emails, just the literal email to say, I can't tell what I'm being asked to do here. What do you think they're asking me to do? And the mail goes something like, hey, we don't have marketing support for your book, so please get out there on social media and get your book supported. Doing so is how we ensure that you get hired. So there's this kind of an implied threat that if you don't hype it and you don't do a good job and the book doesn't sell, well, then you may not get another contract from us. But then they'll also say something, please do not use any materials that might be considered confidential or would break the narrative that has been established. And I creators say, what does that mean, break the narrative? Like, does this mean I can show sketches or I can't? And if you've been on Twitter or social media, you've seen a lot of artists do show sketches. And if you watch very closely, you'll notice every now and then the artist suddenly stops showing sketches. And what happened was somebody told that artist, hey, you can't share that. That's from the view, you can't do that. Or they'll say, hey, before you share anything, run it by your editor. And the editor sometimes never gets back to people, or and then I've seen this. This is again a real world example where the artist was told, hey, get out there and promote and market. And the artist, posted some pencils, very not with spoilers on them, things that are innocuous. And then the editor sent them a nasty note saying, I didn't give you permission to do that. You need to run things by me. And then I forwarded this email chain where the artist wrote like 4 emails to the editor, like, hey, how about this? No response. And then the funny punchline to this was an email that said, why aren't you doing more to promote the book? And so another thing you might want to look for is, have you ever seen an artist, and again, if you look close, they'll post like pencils of a rock or a foot, just something that makes no sense, that you cannot tell at all. It's like, here's a tree I'm drawing that is super zoomed in from a background panel of some book. And the reason they're doing that, the creator's being a bit passive aggressive, and they're basically going, I have no idea. You won't give me good guidance on what to promote, so I'm just going to fuck it. Here's a tree. That's what goes on. So yeah, I'm actually making this more angry than I mean to. But so what is the positive part? What are some ways to promote? Because one of the things, and this is more on the writer side than the artist side, is they've taken to vague tweeting excitement. Something like, I just had a meeting and it's going to blow your minds. Or, oh man, I wish you could see what was in my email right now, but it's super exciting, but I can't say a word, but it's exciting. That stuff annoys the hell out of people. This is me doing an intervention. Don't do it. It annoys. It's great. Here's an example of it going right. Like you say something along the lines of, I'm really excited about what's coming up. Cool. I just finished my script for issue 7, and some amazing things there. I can't wait for you guys to read it. It's coming up. Okay, that's fine. That's teasing the future, right? But you're teasing actual work. You're teasing something that's done. What comes across as douchey are things that are super vague, like, oh my goodness, the email, OMG emoji with wide eyes. You guys are not prepared for this. That stuff makes you sound like an asshole. You may not realize it. You may think you're being kind of cute and like, oh, I'm excited. I'm going to share someone's excitement. But it's a terrible way to promote. It doesn't help you. It doesn't benefit you. And nobody honest, this is a key part, who's going, oh my God, I can't wait too. No one is really feeling that way. They're saying that to kind of be sycophants to you. They're hoping that you'll follow them back. They're hoping that you'll send them a comp or something. That's what's going on. They're not into you. Or they're into you too much. I don't know. But how do you promote? So again, I'm sympathetic to you though, creators, because I've never heard of a publisher or an editor or somebody arranging like a marketing 101 class or sending you some video links of some cool guerrilla ways to promote your book or any of that. So here's example. So my advice would simply be this: lean into actual work. If you can show sketches. I think particularly if you're an artist who's got getting a bit of a following or anything, showing rough pencils, showing things without spoilers is safe. You're unlikely to have blowback. If you are, say sorry and then keep doing it and just try and see if you can figure out why people are upset. But in general, post pencils, post work. If you're a writer, here's another thing you can tease. You could talk about you could talk about an upcoming storyline. You can say I'm getting ready to introduce some fan faves. In fact, if you're a writer, here's one of the absolute best things you can do if you're working for one of the big two, is say something along the lines of, here's some books I'm reading to prepare for this new arc. Here's something from the past that I'm researching, or something that may be relevant in the future when in the next couple issues you might want to brush up on that. Here's why that's such a good tweet or a good tease. Number one, you're leaning into your own company's history. That's gonna, the company's gonna like that. The editor's gonna appreciate that, and the customers, who are often told way too much that that I've forgotten about the past. I don't care about the past. There's this perception, fair or unfair, that a lot of creators kind of blow off what came before them. That they just want to kind of work in their own pool. And they misunderstand the rabid excitement a lot of comics fans get when you refer to something that occurred in the past. When you say like, "Hey, I'm going and doing my research for this book," even if that research is really minor, even if it's like using the DC Universe app and reading like a couple issues of something just to kind of remember who this bit character was, it's helpful. It sends a message to the customers of, I remember the history. I know you've been collecting these comics probably for a long time. If it's a new customer, somebody new to the book, it gives them an incentive to say, like, hey, I'm into this writer. I'm going to try and go find those back issues. Again, it builds brand loyalty. Your company's going to be happy. Your editor's going to be happy. Your customers are going to be happy because you're sending a message that you care. If you're writing an upcoming arc of Superman, and you say something along the lines of, I've been looking into some of the pre-crisis Superman where he was doing battles in the multiverse, and these issues in particular are pretty interesting. And I think if you read these, there will be some nice Easter eggs coming up in the future. You haven't spoiled anything. You are referring to the kind of the vaulted past of the comic, and you're again, even if you're doing very little work, the subtle message it sends to the customer is that you give a shit, that you care like they care. that you're not just getting this job and you're just going to do whatever you want, that you're actually going to try and honor the past. It's a very clever way to do what chances are a lot of people are already doing. I mean, they're one of the misconceptions, and there are definitely some exceptions to this, is that a lot of writers do go do a bit of research, even if it's the wrong research, even if even if you're writing, say, one of the X-Men titles and you read the Morrison era and that's it, and you ignored everything else. Even if that's what you've done, not that I'm being specific about anything, but even if that's what you've done, still referring to something that took place before is useful. It basically says, hey, I'm doing my homework I'm doing my training, my prep to get ready for this title. I'm putting in the work. And customers like hearing that. They like hearing that, you're putting in the work. They tends to make them think that you're being more thoughtful about what you're writing. And it's good hype. It's way better hype than saying something along the lines of, oh my God, this email, OMG, OMG. It's way better. Because one is kind of this weird humble brag that you got an email, which is just a weird thing to brag about in general. It just comes off strange. And the other is basically inferring that you're doing some work to get ready for this for this important comic. That's powerful. That's going to help you. That's going to be good hype. Gets people excited. It also gives some people something to do. One of the problems with these, I got an email, it's very exciting, is the payoff to this random email is when. Most people following you are not even going to make the connection 9 months down the road when, like, you have a guest, Mr. Miracle guest stars in your book for an issue, that was connected to this super exciting email. Nobody knows what you're talking about or frankly cares. But when you refer to something that went on in the past, if you're an artist, if you're like, hey, I'm checking out these issues for some character designs, the hype it's circular. It gets people excited about the future. It reminds people of the past. Maybe they go check out the past. But in general, it makes you feel inclusive to them. The customers feel like you're bringing them into the circle as opposed to teasing them with some random thing nobody knows about or frankly cares about. I see this over and over right now, this hype that is, oh my God, you guys, oh my God, I had the best call just now. I had the best call. You guys are not ready for this. It comes off gross. It comes off slimy. It comes off like you're bragging. It doesn't come off like good hype. And so do yourself a favor and promote kind of something tangible. Again, if you're a creator, put some pencils up there. Post some, hell, you could even say, here's some of the Pinterest images that I'm looking at as I'm thinking about this costume design. It's just you're bringing somebody into your work as opposed to kind of doing a sneaky, you can't tell what I'm doing, but it's exciting, but you can't tell because you're not here. That's the tone difference that you're establishing. So just as a suggestion, it would help. You get people more excited. You get more customer loyalty. It's all good. That's my suggestion for you. Anyway, let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, and thanks for listening.